The world isn't ending. It's remembering.
That's a really powerful, almost counterintuitive idea we're exploring today. It is. We're looking at this piece from Rob McLaughlin, PhD, came out very recently, June 22nd, 2025. He calls it a plain fire transmission.
Plain fire transmission. Okay, what does that actually mean in this context?
Well, it's important, he says, it's not, an opinion piece or news analysis, even though it's a direct response to a specific event, the U.S. bombing in Iran.
Right.
Instead, McLaughlin frames it as a resonance field, basically a space for, as he puts it, soul remembrance and vertical alignment.
Soul remembrance. So like finding your center amidst all the chaos.
Exactly. Finding that inner balance, that connection to something deeper, especially when the world feels like it's, disrupting.
And it's pretty remarkable how he takes something so concrete, so frankly terrifying, like bombings, and argues that the fear, the distortion, it's not actually new. It's just louder now.
Louder, yeah. He suggests it's the sound of the old structure breaking apart.
Okay, so structures built on control, he says.
Precisely. Systems built on control collapsing. Not the end of the world, but the end of that way.
That's a big shift in perspective.
It is. And what's really fascinating is what he says is happening underneath all that noise.
Ah, right. He says there's something quieter growing.
Yeah, not just like a slightly improved version of the old stuff. No, he calls it a new way entirely.
Okay, so if the old way is falling apart and this new way is growing, what are the mechanics of that? What's actually shifting? He mentions 3 key transitions.
He does. The first one is moving from service to self, that focus on just personal gain towards service from soul, acting from a deeper, more authentic place within.
Service from soul.
Okay.
And the second.
That links to it. It's shifting from just listening to the noise, all the external chaos, the media, the fear.
Which is deafening right now.
Totally. Shifting from that to listening inward, tuning into your own inner guidance.
Makes sense. And the third transition. This feels pretty fundamental for how we relate to each other.
Absolutely. It's moving from separation and division,
which we see everywhere,
to resonance and coherence. Finding that harmonious connection first within, then maybe reflecting outward.
Resonance and coherence, and that connects to this really powerful metaphor he uses.
The mirror one.
Yeah. The war out there is a mirror. What does he mean by that exactly? It sounds provocative.
It is. It's not about assigning blame, I think, but more about seeing the outer conflict as reflecting something internal. He says the real shift happens inside.
Inside. That's where transmutation lives, he says. So changing ourselves fundamentally.
Right. Which raises a big question then. If it's all a mirror, what are we supposed to do?
Exactly. It feels passive almost.
Well, the message isn't about jumping into the fray, fighting back in the old way, or trying to seize control.
Right.
It's about, and this is core, remembering who you are.
Remembering who you are.
And living from that place, that authentic core, no matter what seems to be crumbling around you, it shifts the focus entirely inward.
So if that's the focus, who leads us through this? Who shapes what comes next? He has a specific idea about that, too.
He does. Not old leaders in new clothes, as he puts it.
No, who then?
He calls them the midwives.
Midwives. Interesting term. What defines them?
It's about their state of being, those holding presence, walking in stillness, people who are carrying coherence instead of control.
That's a very different model of influence, not based on power, but on inner state.
Exactly. Presence, stillness, coherence.
But how does that quiet presence actually, change anything when things feel so loud and chaotic externally?
And that's the crux of it, leading to his call to action, or maybe call to being for you, the listener.
All right. He says you don't have to fix the world, which is a relief, frankly.
Yeah. But you are here to stand in it differently.
Stand in it differently.
To carry the new frequency, to remember. And the key part, not someday, now.
Now. It's an immediate personal responsibility, then, to embody that change.
That seems to be the core message. It's an internal job with external ripples.
So wrapping this up, this plain fire transmission, it really reframes crisis. What looks like collapse is maybe an invitation, an awakening.
An awakening or remembering, seeing the outer world as that mirror, and realizing the real power, the transmutation, happens inside us. It's about embodying a different frequency.
Carrying that new frequency. Okay, so here's a thought to leave you with, based on all this. Given this idea of standing in it differently, of remembering, What does remembering who you are actually mean for you personally, navigating your life right now? Not theoretically, but practically, starting